on the court here with Executive Director Adam Wedlake. Adam, first of all, Happy New Year. Great to see you.
Thank you.
First off, basketball season, trade deadline, lots going on. We'll leave it to the other guys to talk about that. We got more impressive matters to talk about here in Manitoba. First off, the announcement of our Manitoba Provincial coaches.
Just came out 2 days ago. We're very excited to see our new lineup for the 2020 year for our Team Toba coaches. We've got 4 provincial teams we run annually. They culminate at the Canada Basketball National Championships in August, but we get things going in May. Our coaches right now have the dubious task to go and find the top 12 basketball players at the 15U and 17U age levels, boys and girls, and they'll be doing that over the next few months, getting out there and looking and trying to get the best out and have the best representatives this summer.
So summer games.
This is not a games year. Next year, 2021, will be the next Canada Summer Games, which will hard to believe that's going to be 4 years since it was here last in 2017. But it's every year we have a national championship hosted by Canada Basketball. Boys go to Ontario this year, girls go to PEI. Those move around every other year. We'll probably hosting those next year in about 5 years.
Tell me what it means to be an all-Manitoba nominee.
Well, to play on the it's part of our graduating all-star festivities we do in the middle of April. Right now we're taking nominations for the best top grade 12 boys and girls basketball players from around Manitoba, and that's from a single A right up to the 4A level, so this is province-wide. Anybody can nominate a player for consideration, and that just recognizes the top players that are currently playing right now, wrapping up their grade 12 year.
So is there 5 per gender, or is it something done per age group?
We have a Player of the Year, which is a separate from the All Manitoba team at those 8 different levels. So from single to 4A, boys and girls, and then we have a 4A All Manitoba team, which is 5 players, boys and girls, and then we have a first team and second team, single A to 3A. All Manitoba teams. So recognize about 25 to 30 of your top players coming out of high school this year.
That's fantastic. Now, February 25th, very important day for Marion School, and especially because it's Black History Month as well. What type of agreement, what type of program have we set up for Marion School this year?
Well, it's a great initiative by the local folks that are running the Black History Month festivities throughout the month. Basketball is the only sport that's been actually involved or included into those activities. A lot of them are cultural or historical kind of recognitions that are done. So this is, I think, the 5th year now. It's University of Winnipeg Westman. A lot of their players come out and work directly with players. It's a free open camp to anybody that's really youth age, which is basically 17 and under. And it's a great fun day. And it's an important month to recognize the contributions and cultural significance of the African culture in Manitoba.
Absolutely. Now, speaking about the the minors, 17 and unders, we're a little bit younger. It's a little bit younger. We've got the Junior Buys and Winter Mini Ball program starting up February 16th to March the 22nd. I have to look at my notes here. Right. Tell us a little about the mini ball program.
Well, it's I think again it's probably I think it's the 3rd year that's been run. It's been run by the University of Manitoba. Both their head coaches, Kirby Shep and Michelle Sung, coach those programs or are the lead coaches along with some of their players. So it's a great chance. A lot of basketball starts in October. It wraps up in March. It's a great sort of mid-season or midway kind of opportunity for, say, a kid that maybe missed getting involved in the fall with us. It's a shorter little window of time. Great introduction to the sport of basketball.
It's a Sunday program in the afternoon, and is it hosted here at the Sport for Life building?
No, it's at the Frank Kennedy Centers on the U of M campus.
Easy to find. It's at U of M. It's nice big basketball courts. But yes, it's a Sunday afternoon program. Right. Registration can be found.
Everything I've just said, basketballmanitoba.ca is probably the best place to start and end, and or follow us on our social media channels, which all this information flows regularly through. You
just got to click on a picture and it'll send you the more details, right?
Of course.
Absolutely. Last but not least, the WNBA Spring League registration. Registration is open February 24th.
That's right. So just about 2 weeks from now, it'll register online. It'll be open for the month of for about a month. That season starts up in the early parts of April. Saturday, Sunday games, ages 5 to 18, and then there's adult leagues as well that are now part of that as well too. So that registration opens again. It's WNBA.ca. You can find it again through our website. But the WNBA is our biggest member association and run the biggest basketball league for youth and now adults province-wide.
It's pretty important to have not just the coaches, but also the volunteers when it comes to programming like this. How does Basketball Manitoba look for or get the right people in the right places every year?
Most of our volunteers are coaches. I'd say probably 90% of them are. There's still a good number of people that we get a decent number of volunteers out for events, whether it could be a one-off game or games or some sort of a special event. But yeah, it's really finding those key people that are passionate about basketball. That makes, when we ask them to put in a lot of hours, a lot of extra time away from the family or in a gym, in a windowless gym in the middle of a beautiful day. And if you've got the passion for what you're doing, it makes that a lot easier. So like I said, most of our volunteers are coaches. That basketball awards event that we talked about just a moment ago, we also recognize probably about 40 different coaches as well at different levels of the game, from either for long-term commitments to the sport or just having a special season. So it's important to have volunteers. It's obviously even more important to recognize and thank them, because without them, none of this happens.
Like you mentioned, recognizing and thanking them for a volunteer position that nobody else would really do unless you have a passion for it. Truly, you see that in all sports. So I'd like to thank you very much for touching on that. February 13th and 15th, you want to talk about that real quick?
On the spot. There's so many things happening. What's happening February 13th and 15th?
Next week we have some basketball championships happening.
The MCAC championships.
There you go.
That's right. So you got
I'd put them on cue there.
There's probably about 30, 40, 50 games happening that weekend. With the MCAC, they're a great member partner of Basketball Manitoba. They'll be wrapping up their championships with their MCAC part of it. From those championships, they still have, they're part of the NIAC, which is an acronym, the sort of the northern U.S. colleges in North Dakota, South Dakota, and so on, Minnesota, participate in that. They continue that into March, and even Providence College is part of the NCCAA, which is the National Collegiate Christian Athletic Association. They're part of that, which is a U.S.-based one as well. So those Providence teams have been doing actually quite well relative to those to that conference as well in the States. So it's just gearing us up. The month of March is when really everything pinnacles for us, March Madness as we like to call it, and that's every level of basketball with exception the MCAC does wrap up a bit sooner, but goes through the month of March with countless number of championships, and it's a great buzz month for us to have coming up just in about a month from now.
Draining 3 balls and the ones at the free throw shot. Mr. Wedlake, thank you very much for joining me with Basketball Manitoba.
Always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Talk to you next month.
You bet.